Yo, how you doing?
One sec. I'm not getting
Hello, hello.
used Discord calls, but it's not going for me for some reason. One second.
Okay.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up?
Cool. I'm glad it's working.
Yeah.
How you
So I,
doing?
I sent you I sent you a couple of honestly I just went through like my last 15 Slippy matches and looked for a couple where I seem to be losing to the same things.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean I want to beat Life and I want to beat Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to work on the Marth matchup a little bit.
Okay. And what do you feel like is like the same thing that keeps happening, or that you're the same thing that you're losing to?
So what is I'm doing well in the spacing battle I until they start uh, dashing back and punishing my approaches,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure if I'm just not being patient enough to then reset to a better neutral position where I am in the center and they are closer to the edge, and then they have to fight out of the corner,
Mm-hmm.
or what exactly I'm doing.
Okay. I'm down to check out the VODs and we can talk about it.
Yeah. Should I? What would be the easiest? Should I pull up your stream? I'm on my phone with this call right now. Should I pull up your stream on my laptop and look along there, or what's
Um,
what's the normal?
I'm streaming through Discord, and that doesn't have a delay. I'm not sure if you can take a look at that
Oh,
on your
I can see it
phone.
on my phone. I can see it on my phone.
Okay, awesome. All right, I guess I'll just take a look for a bit, and if you see anything come up, let me know, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about it. I'll see if anything comes up that I notice.
So obviously, did not mean to dash tag at the beginning. There's stuff like
I yeah, no, I
the
know.
yeah yeah
No, I like the platform stuff at the beginning. I think it's like a good way to start out trying to get like a little bit of damage.
yeah. So like right there, I'm
Yeah.
falling prey to that wave dash back F smash or wave dash back F tilt or neutral side B.
Mm-hmm.
I'm falling prey to that too often, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So what was the intention here with the Nair?
Um, with the Nair, let's see, it would beat Dash Dance in place. Basically, it loses to a lot. I think the Nair is probably a bad option there. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably better to wait, either try and get the problem I have with waiting in that position is just I have to land at some point, and if I eat a hit with very few jumps, it becomes a much worse situation. So I think I probably was prioritizing a trade situation where I still have almost all my jumps so I can reset to neutral.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what was exactly going through my mind at that moment. The Nair, if the Nair doesn't trade and I get a clean hit, turns into Nair S, turns into Nair tech chase, like knockdown tech
Mm-hmm.
chase type situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would say this is so like if you think about it, like when you do the Nair, you still aren't getting your jumps back, you know? Like so first of all you get the ledge grab, and so you're not like you have to land eventually, but that eventually does not mean you have to do it out of this set of set of jumps. Like
Yeah,
you can so I think the options are like you can regrab edge, you can do I think like wave landing off the outer edge of the side plat is really
yeah,
good to give you a little bit more height. And I think just sort of like maximizing your resources, like I think it's better to have like one recovery where you use a bunch of jumps than to like like it's best to use the resources rather than feel pressured to like
keep the
attack
resources.
early to
Yeah,
avoid using the resources, because it's really easy to get the resources back. Um, and like you could basically get them back without any consequence. And I think
yeah,
that it's sort of like a situation where Marth at some point has to commit. Like, he doesn't really want to commit, because once he swings, you can usually get past him if he happens to miss. So generally, what Marth is going to do is he's going to try to take as long as possible before like fully committing, or he'll just be like setting up like late fair or something. But you're not going to be getting hit by those, so it's not super
Yeah.
relevant. It's more
And even if
about
I
like,
do, I hold out and I don't die, and nothing bad happens except I take 12%.
mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And like, so it's not too hard to avoid those. It's more gonna be about like Marth getting like his big read moment of like full hop aerial, or like a short hop instant aerial, or something like the wave dash back forward smash. And
Yeah.
I think that like it's really nice. I really like the outer edge of the plat waveland, because a lot of times. So okay, so you also have access to tournament winner if he backs off a little bit. Like, you can act
Yeah.
like you're going to come in, get a tournament winner, get a little bit of extra height. Um, but yeah, I like this. I like the waveland off the outer edge, because it's just like one more jump, waveland off, and now you have all of this height to work with. And
Yeah.
rather than trying to zone you from like out here, he's now zoning like this diagonal, which is like way stronger.
Yeah, I tend to not like the diagonal as much against Marth. I like it against like a Falco and a Fox.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you should be attacking from this diagonal. More so that it's like it's harder for, like, if you're here and you're like at this height off stage, Marth has like a very like easy like zoning idea of where you're gonna be.
Yeah.
That you're just gonna be here and you can't go vertically too fast. But if you're up here, it's like, sure, you can't really get in on this diagonal angle, but you have options to go to more spaces, so it like inherently makes his guessing like worse, basically.
Gotcha.
Um, so he's gonna be trying to not commit as long as possible, and so I think that basically you want to be trying to create a situation where it looks like you're going in, but then not go in a good amount of times, so that when you finally do decide to actually move in, he's just not quite as ready for it. There's like a lower chance he's gonna do it. Whereas
Yeah.
like in this situation, you go for the fair, and so it's like probably could have gone back to ledge here, but regardless, you could have just gone more off stage. But it's sort of like a situation where you're here, he chases you back, and like think of this as like basically like an even neutral dash dance situation. There's
Yeah.
not really any reason, like there's no like reasonable argument for why you should be pushing in here, because you didn't trick Marth into committing. It's not like a fake out in some way where you're gonna go high but you slip low, or you're gonna go in but you drift back, anything like that, or you're gonna go for the plat but you go low. There's no sort of mix here that actually has like a layer to it. It's purely like a timing mix-up of like, what if I went in now? And Marth is basically just waiting for the first indication that you're going to push in, because he's going to try to cover this whole zone with whatever he does.
Yeah.
So if you make it too obvious, like on your first attempt at going in, that you're going to go in, then he doesn't have to worry about like over committing, because anytime he sees any sort of signal, it's a lot, he can just react to that, and the chances are that you are going to be committing along with him, and then he'll just get the win on that. So I think
Yeah.
you could spend a little bit more time and do a little bit more like baiting on trying to get Marth to like swing or like try to hit you. I think the rule of thumb I kind of have in this matchup as Puff is that every disadvantage situation should take like 30 seconds. Like, and I
Yeah.
think
I do think
that
it's
that's like a little bit of an exaggeration, but it should feel like 30 seconds to you as the Puff. Like, it should be like, okay, we're in neutral, we're fighting, you can kind of play the game. Now I'm at a disadvantage, and Marth is looking for this like hold the stage position thing. This should always take a little while. And the Marth should always be dash dancing, trying to hit you, missing, and just very slowly working your way back, because this is Marth's hidden mileage in the matchup, basically, where like he can hit Puff, and like if he hits you here, like even though you did the nair and you got forward smashed, it's not the world's biggest deal.
Yeah,
but they add up over time. And so like
exactly,
the
exactly.
more you can avoid this situation, the more like each individual hit that Marth gets is not as relevant. I think even like here you should be focused a lot more on like you're essentially attacking out of your recovery.
Yes.
And so there's like a mismatch where you should be working from a negative position to a neutral position, and from the neutral position to a positive position. Whereas trying to skip from the negative position to the positive position is going for a reversal, and reversals are fine when you have like a really legitimate reason why the reversal will work, rather than this is almost like it's like greedy trying to get back from a bad spot, and you're like, okay, let's turn it now into like my recovery will now turn into me actually hitting my opponent,
Yeah.
and that's not like quite as sound. So like right here, I think it would have been good to just go to the platform edge, like the outer edge of the platform here, like
Yep.
right here, waveland down, work your way around until you can get back in. And once you're in on Marth, all of this like stuff, obviously the dash attack not, but I think like this type of stuff, this is all good. I think that the corner in this matchup is really important, and so like obviously most of Puff's matchups the corner is really important, but I
Yeah.
think in this one like you feel it extra hard even when you're moving. Like in the other ones, maybe you feel it on the interaction, like when you actually hit each other. But this one, just Marth having the space to dash back, and then also wall you into the corner, like you not having access to like a full side plat to like call your own, basically. Like if you're here and Marth is down here, you have this whole side plat, and so you have a lot of room to really work with. Whereas if Marth is a little bit closer to center and you're off center, it all kind of goes downhill. So
Yeah,
I,
our both of our hitboxes extend so much beyond our bodies that there's so much overlap in the space there.
yeah, exactly. And so like I think that when you're going for like a position like this, I think it's a lot better to shark towards the center and allow Marth to drift out,
Aha.
because your worst case is that he gets all the way back to ledge, and he's not gonna be great off. Like if he gets to ledge, like there's no guarantee you're gonna win this.
Yeah.
And so if you can prevent him from getting to center, like right here, if you went back towards center, it doesn't matter. And obviously he's facing backwards here, so it makes it even worse for him because he can't really
Yeah.
grab ledge. But if you can get back towards center, like, and sort of cover this space right here, it's gonna
Uh-huh.
make it really difficult for him to actually get down, and he's gonna feel pressured to basically like turn around and try to get this like fall to ledge. And then the mix up you're playing is either you covered the center, he went to center, you hit him, which is like the easy one, or you cover center, he goes out, and maybe you have a shot to hit him out of the air while he's in the corner / off
Sure.
stage, which is really really good because most of the time the types of hits you're gonna get on Marth, because Marth is so good at like the dash dance and stuff, is you're gonna get like some back air on his dash dance in center stage or something, which does nothing ever for 1,000,000%.
Yep.
Like Marth at 140, it doesn't matter. So when you actually have him in spots like this, I think like imagine you go this way, and then Marth actually comes down on you in kind of like a silly way,
Yep.
and then you actually do land a back air. He just gets sent all the way back to this side where he's completely chilling and like centralized and stuff like that. So I think even when you're in the air, keeping like the centers, like if that back air hit, you would never get anything off of it. He would just go all the way down, and it would be like a full reset.
Gotcha.
Whereas if you kept him on the outside, you'd have a way better chance of actually getting a kill. And yeah, this is like a great position to be in, right? I think this was a little bit like I think you shouldn't really be attempting to come down on Marth. Marth's whole goal while you're above him is going to be to shark you, to be directly underneath you, and then just throw moves out. And that's generally like what they're going to be doing. Most of the time when you're coming down, you want to be like using your horizontal momentum so to prevent Marth from ending up underneath you. And so if you're coming down right here and Marth is like you're right here and Marth is on the side plat, you don't really have any great options except to kind of go around him all the way around right here. And sure, if he jumps up to try to hit you on the platform, maybe there's like a mix or something. But
Sure.
from this position, you should never be voluntarily creating the position where you're right here. Because this is the range that Marth is essentially just hoping for. Whereas if
Yeah.
you can get around him, like right here, just go all the way around. And this is sort of that like 30 seconds thing where like, oh, I'm in disadvantage. I need to accept that like it'll take a while to get back.
See, in that position specifically, I think I was trying to sit right outside the side B/forward smash range and then try and punish that. Like I didn't punish it, but he did the side B and I was right outside the range.
Yeah, what if he had up tilted here and it tip rude?
Yeah, that would have been
That would
worse.
be like the most normal response. The side B is kind of an abnormal. Right here, just boom, just up tilt, and like or he can forward smash here with the way you're drifting, and so it's like basically you're going for a situation where you're like, well, I can bait Marth, so it's a good spot, but the reason you can bait him is because it's a disadvantage for you.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you were forced to play this position, anytime you're forced to play a bad position, then you want to play the mix-up in the bad position because you're maximizing your value in the position you're in. But if
Sure,
you're
but I'm just not forced.
if you're not in the good position, there's no reason to be playing a mix-up there, even if you feel like it would be, like, tricky, because there's no reason to be there. You can be tricky in neutral or while you already have center. You can use the trickiness there. And I think, obviously messed up on the dash attack, but I think like the stuff you were doing where you were kind of like hanging out right there and doing the corner pressure, that felt really good. Okay, I think that was good.
Messed up my. I was trying to grab ledge at some way.
Yeah, I see. I think that
I
would
can't
be...
remember what exactly I was doing. Clearly messed it up though.
Mm-hmm. I think also you could right here. I think doing like 3 dash wave dashes would have been a lot better here than doing 1 and then doing this run. It's
I
just...
usually like to turn around, right? I think what I was trying to do was dash towards ledge and then turn around, wave dash to ledge, probably. That's why I got the spot dodge out.
Yeah, it would be a lot faster though. Like the grounded movement is just literally faster with the wave dash.
Yeah.
So you could do like wave dash, turn around, wave dash. Whereas like
Okay.
a running turnaround, you actually have to go through your whole running turnaround frames, which is going to be slower. You could also do like wave dash, like running, like run from right here and get the up B. That's like another option.
I do that only. I basically only do the up B on Yoshi's
Mm-hmm.
because I've found the consistency on Yoshi's to be really good, but the consistency on Battlefield sometimes my aerial drift will be too much, and I will just sing to my death.
I see. Yeah, and I also don't think that like the up B here is some like great option to grab edge, but I think that if you did the quick multiple wave dash here, 1, 2, 3, you would definitely be here in time to grab the edge and would have probably been able to get like a back air here or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think like honestly in general, I don't really see you use I don't really see you do the grounded wave dash as much as you could be. I think Khalid does a good job of doing that, where like sometimes you can just like if you're basically in like grounded puff mode where you're not in the air,
Yeah.
most of your movement should be quick wave dashes. And especially I think practicing getting like wave dash and not having a delay between the wave dashes is really good. And something you could probably benefit from.
Yeah.
I think that this percent, I feel like as your percent gets closer to like I die from tipper up tilt, I think that like approaching from any sort of high angle gets a lot worse. Whereas I think like if you get up tilted here at like 30, who cares? But at 100, you can just instantly die from the tipper up tilt. Like I think you would be a lot better off doing stuff close to the ground here. Yeah, you definitely could have made that with the wave dashes. But rather than coming in for the landing right here, I think you could land in the corner. Sorry, not in the corner. Land like pressuring him in the corner, like
Yeah.
right here, and then mess around with wave dash in and like low back airs and grab and like drill and stuff like that,
Yeah.
rather than like coming in from this sort of angle. So I think it's more of like a reset to stay low angle, because if you're low, if you're on the ground, like what are Marth's kill confirms on Puff? Or like not even kill confirms. He has like grab tipper and he has up tilt tipper. That's mostly it. And so I think like if you're crouching on the ground, he's like afraid of missing the grab. He's afraid of like he doesn't like if you're just crouching right here at this percent, what does he really have that can get you that doesn't risk everything? And it's
No,
not
nothing.
much.
He fares in place and down tilts and hopes that I miss space.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're none of those are like kill moves. Whereas this situation is putting yourself into a spot where one of his only kill moves can hit you.
Yeah.
And you're lucky that this Marth keeps doing the side
The
B
side
before
B,
the up tilt, because the up tilt would be killing here for sure. Yeah, and so this is that spot where you don't want to be. You don't want to be here ever. This is like the bad zone. If you end up here, most of the time, you want to get to ledge and play this really long game where you go around. So you're right. So you're right here. There's no reason here from this position to not go up. You should be moving.
I think most of the time I end up spacing a back air there and trying to gain a little space on the ledge.
So you're saying like this type of back air? Or
no, I mean I think normally I fall down with the back air, like this one right here.
Yeah, yeah.
But then he's dashing back and I just get hit by side B.
Yeah, you're basically creating like a perfect position for him with not much of a payoff. Like this isn't like an up tilt rest attempt, you know. It's just a back air. It's just pure percent, but you're putting yourself in like a position where he can kill you. Like as a Puff, so much of the gameplay revolves around like, oh, I'm at high percent. I need to play specifically in ways that they cannot kill me. Yeah. And this is like putting yourself in a position where he can kill you. Whereas if you jump and you just jumped around all the way around the map and waited for a spot where you get maybe a stray back air because he jumped and committed, and then maybe you get another stray back air into an up air, and you know you can play the shark out of that. You can play the situation a lot more. Whereas if you end up in the corner here, this is sort of that thing where, like, if you ended up here for any reason, I would encourage you to go off stage and play the 30-second comeback.
Yeah, just abort the situation, try and find the neutral spot.
Yeah, and so when you're right here, definitely just go high. If you are high up in the air, Marth does not have a single move that can kill you at all. He can only kill you from his grounded position.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, he can shark with tipper up airs.
The up air won't kill unless you're way up high. Like if he tipper uppers you right here, you're nowhere close to dying. You're nowhere even close. And even if he tipper uppers you like right here, you're not particularly gonna die like that often unless it's, you know, pretty significantly high up, short stage, stuff like that.
So like holding in, yeah.
So like from right here, your thought like he's only gonna get you with a kill move when you're coming down. When you're going in on him, he's never going to be able to get you when you're moving around and away, and so you should definitely be like I would prioritize here going to top plat, like for sure going to top plat here, going around the threat, and then like you got an opening here, but the position you got, like you could have done this same mix up of being like here grounded, but like way in center where he's in the corner, something like that, and you could have set that up with all of your movement, you know.
Sure.
But like, I think that.
How do you feel about the down throw there? I didn't.
Good, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he has to go to a platform basically, and then I get the platform tech chase.
Yeah, I don't think you have anything here that's like particularly fantastic. So the down throw is probably the best option.
That's what I was thinking. It was between that and back throw, but I think he just gets ledge for free if I back throw.
So here's something that, yeah, he does, and that's also not the worst case, right? But it's also like you can't get anything else out of it. The down throw, you got an up air out of it, probably maximize the value. So this is the same sort of thing again right here, where you get this hit and you want to go for this over here, and so you're over committing to the left because your reward for Marth going over here is higher.
Sure.
but Marth also knows that. Like, Marth knows that he wants center. He does not want to be here. This is sort of his, like, compromise case.
Yeah.
So you should be focused on Marth trying to avoid this corner offstage position because it's bad for him. Rather than focusing on trying to hit this position, which is like he's gonna be avoiding that. Like right here,
Well,
he's
in
gonna
this
be doing.
situation,
What's up?
kind of tried to be sharking that jump back towards center, or just
Yeah,
kind of
you
babysitting
should
and
be
waiting
trying
for
to
it.
either you should be like usually like either waiting for the double jump and trying to shark it, waiting for the fair and trying to shark it. If he moves off to the side here, you can set up a really good like corner position. But basically like the Marth will desperately try to avoid this position until you cut off this side, and then he'll
Yeah,
finally
because
decide to go
once he
over
gets
here.
that jump, it's just basic. And I'm below him like that. We just reset to neutral.
Yeah, this is like a total reset. There's nothing you could get out of it. Whereas if you cover this and he goes out, you still have a center position. This is worse than neutral because he's taken center from you.
Yeah, yeah.
And now you're here. Once this happens, it's time to leave, reset, use the platforms, get back to center.
Do you think
This
when I noticed Marsh do this up air a lot? Do you think I've not really been good at the shield drop rest or
mm-hmm.
shield drop drill grab? Like, do you think that's an option there, or because so many Mars put out the instant up tilt after they're falling up air?
Yeah, I think you can I think if you can practice the shield drop rest on the up tilt, it's really good to like noob check people. Like
Yeah,
like I would say that you shouldn't be like that's like my good thing, but you could be like I just want to get an extra lead on this dumb Marth in the bracket. I know they're gonna do it. And you could also like, hold light shield or something the first time, or shield the up air, jump away, notice the up tilt. Because the Marth's brains are focused kind of like Puff Brain on like I just need to avoid being hittable. And so
yeah,
if Marth gets this up air up tilt, and after the up air you jump away, they won't really register that like something bad could happen. Like they'll just sort of be like, "Oh, nice, I pressured them." And
nice. It
so
didn't work,
like
but we got percent.
I think like if you've already seen that they will do the up tilt here, which they shouldn't be doing against Puff, but if you
Sure.
notice that they do it, I would say the shield drop rest there is great. But like from this position, so you missed the shark to center. From here, you need to be getting away. You need to be resetting. You just don't want to be in the corner with Marth just walling you out. And so like
So I
notice
jumped away, and that is the incorrect option, probably.
jumping away is fine, like I said before, because you're not in any danger. You could just jump to center. That would have probably been like slightly more efficient, but it's
Yeah,
not. But like efficient time wise, and the time doesn't matter that much. Not efficient damage wise or position wise, because your whole thing is you're gonna have to find your way back anyway. So
yeah,
it's really not a big deal because you just drifted back in a half a second and it was fine.
yeah,
But right here, where you come in, this is really bad
yeah.
because
I
you're
was
you're not
edged
willing to work
over.
for the good position. You accept that you're in a bad spot, and then you just try to like, what if I was in a really good spot, you know?
Yeah,
And once you end up here again, it's definitely like a matter of like, okay, take plat, force Marth back. The thing is, you don't necessarily have to take plat here, but if you're not taking plat and you're not working your way around to get out of the corner, you should probably be doing some sort of wave dash or like low movement. I think like going for a full hop. So like you're going for a full hop, you're not staying low, you're not like moving in quickly.
yeah,
You even went for somewhat of like a like half committal where you kind of like drift out and then drift in. It's just like it's combining all of the, like the weakness factors together rather than avoiding them and looking for like a good position. And so
yeah,
the Marth is just going to keep playing their zoning game. And like if you're the Marth, you love the fact that Puff is trying to fight here out of the corner to get to center rather than just taking the plat and like working your way in, slowly pushing Marth back, working your way around. There's a lot of jumping around without really doing a lot because Marth will eventually move back, hoping to catch you moving in so that they can get like
yeah.
a wall and you'll be able to gain space. I think that was a fine air dodge. I think like going in here is not super great, but just like the number of jumps you had left and the percent you're at and all this stuff. I definitely felt it that like, like right here, it's kind of hard to get in. You're running out of jumps. I think this air dodge was pretty good. Not something you want to be doing every time, though.
Sure. Definitely a situational thing.
So yeah, so if I'm right here, first of all, I'm thinking you got to go high-ish to force Marth to jump because he commits by jumping.
Yeah.
And then, so this should not be happening because you should already be above this and be able to like react to it. Like you should be jumping right here.
I should be pounding basically.
Or at least, or at least pounding right here is what I was gonna say. Yeah, like you should be here because from here you don't need to use any jumps essentially to get across. Whereas as soon as you show that you fall low, the amount of time it will take you to get back up and the amount of resources it'll take you to get back up is enough to sort of tip Marth off to the idea that you're probably going to like make it kind of easy for him. And so he just cuts off of like, oh, you went too low, you're probably going to try to go a little higher, and gets the option coverage.
Yeah.
And that's just something that can be like entirely avoided basically. Okay, good grab. I like this where you're keeping Marth in the corner. Okay, good. Pretty small, but you can... What's up?
Fall off fair.
Yeah, fall off reverse fair, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Easy reaction once you're ready for it.
And then there, I think fall off back air would have worked.
I think, actually right here, okay, so this is like a little bit... I think right here, the best option would be to refresh in place. Because Marth is actually far enough away that, like right here, if you just double jump regrab, he can't really get to you in time. Whereas, like, you sort of came out here a little preemptively, I think.
I read the jump a little bit early.
Yeah, exactly. I think, like, the back air there is not bad. It was the type of situation where Marth was a little further, and one refresh would have probably put you in a pretty good spot. But not an insanely bad judgment, just like a slight misappraisal of the spacing. And this is what
it was again.
Yeah, and this is what you super don't want is like, oh, I'm in a bad spot, so I'll just get in a good spot right away. But, you know, even if it happens once, it's not a huge deal. Just don't let it happen again. But look how low you're letting yourself go. You're letting yourself go low enough whereas he can just kind of keep it going. Like if right here, if you were all the way at this height, this is what's so frustrating against Puff. You hit her off stage, she just drifts back. She has the entire stage. Like you're not, like being in the corner here is a state of mind. You are far enough up vertically that you can go all the way and basically play the descending from directly above the top platform position with almost no risk.
All right.
Whereas the lower you go, the closer you get to Marth's sword. And this is part of why this position is so good, is look at now, like, imagine rather than coming down into these forward smashes, you went vaguely up into this spot, like when you got hit off into the corner.
Yeah.
If he tries to jump up and get you, and you get one drift mix up, you're now suddenly back to the ground. And you could, like, wave dash in or something here, or just drift in a little bit more, and you're already kind of back in the center spot. Or even just go to the side plat here. Like, he whiffs, drift into the side plat, now you're here, he's here, drop through, you're in a pretty good spot. And this is what I was talking about, whereas, like, if you kind of move around, eventually, like, right here, the Marth will give you the center space, and then you can just sort of take up that space and zone him out, which is what happens here. This is that same thing again. Notice? Look, you hit him. Boom. Your first reaction is to hit Marth for your highest payoff. But Marth is also aware that that is your highest payoff. He will always go here to avoid that. And so you can threaten it a little bit, but you need to be focused on keeping him more cornered than you. Like, if here's the center line, you should not allow Marth to pass you.
Yep. I think in that situation, I was probably slightly unaware of his percent and thought I could get the second back air.
I see. That does make sense. It's a bit of a reach, but because of how high he went. But that's an understandable misjudgment. At least you went directly back to center to cover the top plat. I also think mostly when you're in positions like these, you should just be short hopping. There's the full hop here is just not super good, like this type of thing, because it just basically hit or miss. It puts you in a spot where you're committed a lot more.
Yeah.
And so like he ASDIs down on this, or he sees it, or shields it, or ducks under it, or dashes back on it. Even if he dashes back here, when he comes back in, you're now trapped in the air. You're
Now in
probably
tipper zone.
exactly, and you'd probably be forced to do something like double jump waveline on the plat, and then you start your big like, I gotta fight for the center. I gotta like work for it. Whereas like if you do a short hop right here and you just did like short hop drift back or something like that, you can kind of get like a shield up before this might not hit you, you know, that those types of
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
It's a lot less committal. No, you see this?
yeah. I know. That was bad pound.
No, and
We'll
like
hit him up.
obviously you can't like learn and change your gameplay like while we're doing the lesson, but it's like it's a very like repeated negative factor that keeps happening where you keep putting yourself in that spot.
Yep.
Yeah, there's that full hop getting you. I think a lot of times in like spots like these, it's like you just want to stay low so you can do like the wave dash crouch. Most of Marth's moves hit fairly high. Like
Yep.
they're most of them are designed for hitting jumping opponents. So like if you're up on the platform and you're coming down, then I think that's sort of like the idea is like if you're doing a short hop, you can kind of be coming down right away, and so it's mostly fine. If you're coming down off the platform, you're also going to be landing soon after, so it's mostly fine. And if you're already on the ground and you decide to do like wave dash, like right here, you could have probably done like wave dash shield grab this or something like that. But the full hop is just it's just putting you, especially at low percent. Marth gets these crazy combos. It's like at higher percents he can kill you, and at lower percents he can combo you big time. And so it just sort of like adds up to being a really bad spot because he just gets so much damage out of that. You go back to the ground in the corner rather than moving around. And that was what I was saying before, is this is where all of Marth's, this isn't just you. This is
No,
like where
I'm not,
Marth's,
nothing I'm taking as personal.
it's where, oh yeah, it's what I'm saying is that like this is across the board where Marth gets all of his extra mileage against Puff players, is that they get too quick on this spot and you're taking so much extra damage out of him just being able to like he gets this, sure.
Like I was at 5% on the first hit.
Yeah, but I'm saying is if this is the end, it's not the biggest deal. Like it's obviously a mistake, but like it's not that bad. Whereas what happens is you get hit, you get hit, you get hit, you get hit, and now instead of at 40, you're at 77 and you die. Yeah. Without ever, like, you never made it back to neutral. This
Nope.
was just entirely like a defensive situation. Out of this one full hop, you ended up losing the entire stock without ever really having a chance to fight back. And all of that basically could have been avoided. Like, first of all, don't full hop there. Right here, play the high. Go high here every time.
Yeah.
Force, like, I think, like, if he jumps up like this, like, sure, you can go to ledge and do it again. You know, it's fine if you it's fine if you mess it up as long as you take your time on it, so you're not just like, oops, I gave him 4 freebies in 3 seconds. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like, if you get hit here, it's like, sure, one of them's not that big of a deal, but like 4 of them is a pretty big deal, and then you can just die immediately. Whereas at 40, you're still not really in danger. You can work your way back, even if you're jumping back at 40 and you try to go to top plat and he reads you once with an up air, and then you're like, okay, fine, and you try to get back again and he reads you again with an up air and you finally make it back, you would still be at like a less percent by quite a bit than you were when he killed you.
Definitely.
Okay, everything that happened there was like pretty reasonable.
I did the full hop there again though. He just picked a different option.
Let me see. like
The full
coming
hop
up.
back air. This one right here, the
Yeah,
full hop.
yeah. I think it's a little bit different. First of all, because like he's in the corner, like you're kind of like hitting him if he tried to go up to the platform here, and
Yeah,
you're not. It's just the position's not quite as bad. I think that like the short hop is probably still a little bit better,
I agree.
uh,
I agree.
but it's not the worst when you already have the corner pressure. I'm a lot more forgiving of the position once you've already gotten an advantage than when you're doing that type of stuff out of like a neutral spot where there's no like real reason to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it definitely seems like you just try to reset by going down here rather than going around, and that is
I
giving
think
them
that's probably true.
it's giving them everything they need. Okay. Yeah, there's that full hop again.
Yeah, I think when I'm in
You
a
just
panic mode, I tend to full hop.
what's up?
I think when I'm panicked, I tend to full hop, even though like
Yeah,
I,
a
I
way
figured I
better.
just
Yeah, I
tend to
think the
full hop.
full hop is just such a get out of jail free card against so many characters that it just really makes it like tempting. And Marth is just one of the unique cases where like wave dash shield, like wave dash roll is significantly better. Like wave dash spot dodge is like better than the full hop, you know? Just like
Yeah,
wave dashing, staying low. Like when you're in this position, like I said before, he doesn't have a lot of great ways to kill you. He even if he hits you with this, like you wave dash in and he hits you with this. Like if you wave dash and shield here, you're golden. You just get a shield grab here. You can tech chase him on the platform. You can do whatever. Um, but like if you get like wave dash in, and he forward smashes you, it's not a tipper. It's no big deal. You can just keep moving. He can only kill you out of like very few positions, you know, and none of those positions really work super well when you're when you're crouching, unless you're in the exact spot that he needs you to be. See, and like right here, you're sort of tunnel visioned in on like the fact that you're both low here, but the outer edge of the platform leading into a moving around, getting even like outer edge of the platform leading to getting inner edge of the platform, leading to having this much so you can get center and then push him back is way more worth it than sort of being like letting him force you into this low grounded like mini game like indefinitely with no escape, and then you sort of just like voluntarily return to it. Like you get hit here, this is like a great spot to just, you know, wait a second here, go to top plat, work your way back, but you work your way back into like the corner position that he's the happiest with.
yeah,
And like if you end up going to ledge, that's fine. That's why I think this outer edge is so good, because if he basically closes in too much, he sort of like creates a spot where maybe you can just sneak past him with your drift or like roll from ledge or ledge dash. He sort of like wants to stay around here and kind of zone you out, but that makes
definitely.
the outer edge of the platform very nice to get to. And the main issue with Puff is not her side to side, it's her vertical. Being able to get yourself to a better vertical height where your full hop puts you here in like a very invulnerable position is just so good, because then you can work your way back to like putting him like off center. Like I think taking the edge of the platform here is really strong.
I meant to wave land off that platform right
Okay,
there.
that's what it looked like. And hey, this is good because rather than like reading him going for the edge here, which would have been like fine, but he probably doesn't want to do that. You're reading him coming back, which I think was pretty good here. Like you're holding the center position, but then you don't hold it here.
Right here, I go to plat to refresh
And
jumps.
I think this like wasn't the worst, but I think like landing here, full hopping, and then covering this space would have been better. Like it's sort of like, remember what I was saying with like the vertical is where Puff is struggling, not the
Yeah,
horizontal. And so if he's up on this level of the vertical, you can get up. Your goal should be to kind of get up to this level of the vertical also. Like get
got
us
you. I think I waited. I definitely wanted to refresh jumps so I can get the higher vertical, and so I landed on plat to refresh jumps.
Yes, it
And
was just slightly too late, and so it was like rather than doing it right here and then full hopping up, you did this, and you didn't like you did this, and then basically once you did this jump over and wave landed, it was a little too late, and he was already like he's already here. So like think
yeah,
about this, whereas like if you do this, honestly after this up air, I'm pretty sure you can just get to the top plat. Like right here, you can
just
just
double, just two. It would take two jumps to get
either
there, but
two
yeah,
jumps or like jump air dodge. Like instant air dodge up here, you would be in a better spot because he's at the point you get to the platform, he is still up here.
yeah,
Whereas like right here, when you're able to jump, he's right here, and it's already like, he kind of has like a down air slash forward air kind of
forward
position
air, yeah.
here. Whereas
So
if you
coming
were
out with a
already on
forward air
this top
shield.
platform, you have a lot more to work with. Okay.
Couldn't
Crazy.
go for rest. Couldn't go for rest.
I would have done just like a forward smash here.
Probably, yeah.
Like just
I
go
tried to
past
get
him and
the
forward smash. You could
drill
also,
grab.
I guess you can't. Maybe you can't sing there. He
He
looked a
was too
little bit
far
on
away to
stage,
sing.
yeah. But I think at least forward smashing here is definitely the play. I think
Actually,
the rest
he
was
may have done
very
forward
much
smash.
not the play because you're at 100. But I think
Yeah,
just getting up from the ledge and like ledge dash forward smash or something would be really good. This is that thing, remember, where we talked about it earlier, where because you're at up tilt kill percent, you should be more focused. If you're like you can be here as much as you want, but if you want to interact with Marth, if you want to push in on Marth, it needs to be low, either
yeah,
wave dashes or grabs. You do not want to be approaching him from this angle because, woof, woof, scary stuff.
yeah.
And VOD actually worked out kind of perfectly because it was like basically just the same like three or four issues kind of like very clearly on
That's why I
display.
picked it. That's why I picked it for sure. I saw I was getting hit by a lot of the same things over and over.
What do you think about the stuff we went over so far? What are your thoughts on that? I'm gonna pull
I
up the
think
second VOD.
honestly, I probably need to practice short hopping in situations where like as simple as that sounds, just like
No, I wasn't laughing at
practicing.
you. I was laughing at the fact that you taunted here at the beginning.
Oh, dude, I do that all the time, just to say, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up?
Sorry, what
We're
were you
playing,
saying?
we're playing Slippy. We're playing Slippy. It's fun. Um,
You're saying you need to like practice the short hop stuff.
like I know as easy as short hop is with Puff, I think sometimes I just go just a bad timing and hold it a little too long and get the full hop and then
Mm-hmm.
do the same thing I would have done if I had short hopped, and now it's a bad thing to do.
I think it's also like you said that like the full hop is just more ingrained as like a habit, especially like when you're panicking.
Yep.
And so like even if you might think short hop, your body's like, no, we know that full hop is safe there, and then Marth is the rare character where it's not safe.
Yeah.
I think like practicing multiple wave dash is going to be really good. It'll help you like feel more comfortable like moving on the ground, like staying crouched and doing like wave dash, wave dash, wave dash, wave dash, wave dash. I think that'd be really good to
Yeah, I think.
practice.
Do you know? Does Slippy have the? Do I have to get Uncle Punch to have the like flash on? Not flash on L cancel, but
Like
like
turning green when you're idle.
green on actionable.
I think you can just do that in Slippy. I don't think you need Uncle Punch for that.
Yeah, I'll double
Um,
check because I think that would be a helpful thing to practice.
yeah, you might not end up getting it much though because like you would be crouching. I don't know if it turns green when you're crouching. It might be.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Um, but you want to just focus on like doing I would recommend also getting Uncle Punch. Like I think that would be very helpful for you because it gives you like the power to investigate on your own. And I think like it's easy not to investigate on your own when you kind of just don't have like an easy way to do it.
Yeah,
But when you're like, like what's the frame data on this? Like, would I be able to sing that Marth's up B? And so
yes,
like
yeah,
being able to just test it out in literally 30 seconds and then have that knowledge forever, it adds up really quick.
I'm sure. I have Uncle Punch on an old laptop that I used when I didn't play Melee nearly as much, but I've not. I don't have it on my good laptop.
Yeah, I would say just try to get like the newer version. Uh, the newer versions are definitely better. I'm not sure how old you mean the version that you have is, but you definitely at least want the one that has Training Lab in it.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, and like what you can also do is you can do a thing where you like make a recording of you doing a bunch of wave dashes and then just
Yeah,
like watch the recording to see how
the save
many
state.
frames that you were like not doing it on, like checking to see, oh, I did 4 wave dashes. What was the window that I missed, like between each wave dash that I could optimize on? And just sort of, it's like you play music, it's mad easy. It's the set timing over and over. It's just ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Like you just practice
Yeah.
that, and then like suddenly your grounded movement is like really really good, and then you can start getting those like wave dash in, full hop up airs and stuff on Fox even separate from
Yeah.
this matchup. So I think that's good. I think practicing just moving around here is really good, like the short hop stuff. I think like practicing doing like the shuffle back air where you do like short hop instant back air and then you fast fall out of it is like really good, and just getting good at doing that while also like drifting around. Practicing doing it fast fall, no fast fall.
Yep.
Practice doing like the wave dash into the back air and stuff like that, because it definitely feels like you're like, when the right answer is to be somewhat aggressive out of a full hop and you're doing like you like, or like you're corner pressuring, those parts are like pretty good. And then when the answer is to stay low to the ground with short hops and wave dash, or to be patient and move around the top, it feels like you're less willing to engage in those spots.
Yeah.
I also think that you're overusing this back air a little bit, and you're also not doing it quickly. So when you
Which
grab
which back air?
this
The
one,
one from the ledge?
yes, the reason just that I think that it's not that it's the worst to do, but like I think you might be doing it a little bit too often. I think you can at least be mixing it up with a couple other things of just jumping up in place, doing like, I think there's also spots where you could be doing the fair regrab. This isn't really one of them because Marth isn't low, but I think that
Yeah.
like
I do it as because I didn't because it was hard to I didn't want to switch to claw to do the back off the drop fair regrab. I think
mm-hmm.
I defaulted to jump back air regrab, and so it
I
became my
see.
fall off fair. It's just a refresh with that happens to have a back air in there that doesn't do anything.
That makes sense. So that's just something to keep in mind. I think the other thing is when you grab a ledge here, it like right here, you're able to like get off the ledge and you wait like a really good amount of time before you actually drop and do the back air. And so you're essentially like wasting a bunch of time that you could be spending getting back to the ledge and getting your invincibility back.
Yeah.
So I think like if you're gonna be doing like the refresh here, I would say try to focus on getting a little bit quicker of a refresh, and that would probably help out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like right here, just instant jump back here, back to ledge. You'll have a little bit of a better position. But I
Yeah.
think this was good. You got the rest. Okay, nice. This is one of those like funny spots where like I feel like coming in diagonally is fine just because he committed
I
so
saw him commit. Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're like, oh, he already committed, so I can definitely come in from this angle. I think like you could have come in a little earlier and probably gotten a down throw.
Yeah.
Um, but those types of freebie hits like that are great when Marth just like gives you a free hit. And this is like, yeah, I think definitely the right option here is to play it safe. But I think that like this is like not the worst read with the edge cancel here. Like that was kind of cheeky, not bad. And this is definitely what happens when you get the short hop instead of the full hop. Even though I think you meant to do a back air here, like getting the quick one and you wave dash and you drift back,
And just drift
and
back.
you can
Yeah.
potentially like just short hop aerial shield or whatever, like or short hop aerial move back. You suddenly have like this way quicker like poke retreat than whereas like the full hop is like poke retreat, but I'm still in a bad position for like a
Poke
while.
retreat, and now I retreat into your fair spacing.
This is that thing again where like even though you're not like basically it's not the worst thing to go for this back air here, but just based off of the analysis we've done so far, it should be somewhat clear that like the Marth is going to try to get to the top plat here.
Yeah.
And so just going for a double jump back air here rather than the instant second back air is probably better. And look at it, yeah, great. I really like the short hop back air zoning. That was fine. Grab the ledge. Boom. Nice. This is that same, like, vertical thing where it's like if you end up... Like, you basically just, like, could have gone back to top plat here. Like, right here. Just go to the top plat. Because even
and
if...
Shield enough air and then continue my day.
Yeah, or what I'm saying is that basically if you go to the top plat here and Marth does hit you with like an aerial, he won't get anywhere near this good of a position.
Yeah.
He'll hit you with it and you'll just be like floating up and you get this whole thing and it's like this still isn't great because for him like it's not that amazing because you could just keep going like right here you can just keep going high and be fine, but you would have more jumps and there's less of a chance that he's gonna get you. Because Marth committing right here to hit this up air, like this up air where he jumps out this way, up airs back to the side plat, and then has this full hop rising fair. This is so nice and ideal for Marth, Whereas, like, forcing Marth to go to the top plat, and if he misses, you get down to the ground, and now he's above you, and he never gets to use the side plat, is just, like, generally stronger. This was that, like... I'm reversing out of my disadvantage type thing, whereas like this should definitely be moved to top plat, play. This is like a 30-second situation.
Yeah,
move to top plat.
The drill obviously bad. Thought the platform was a little lower, I guess. I don't know.
Even if he was at 0, it wouldn't have done any good.
Yeah.
It's just attempting to counterattack when you're in a disadvantage. That happens. That's like pretty fine. This is also a little bit of the same thing. Like you're not directly trying to hit him, but you're also not using your resources here. You need to be using your time, using your resources, so that when Marth does a commitment here, he doesn't because this is just Marth looking at the very first opportunity where you might go in, where you have a chance to go in, and just putting a hitbox out here. Just being like, oh, and it works. Because you are going in that spot rather than using your full resources.
Meant to be a short hop up air, or full hop up air, I mean.
Nice.
Missed the L cancel.
Overall, yeah, that downer stuff wasn't that bad, I think. Let's see. Yeah, that happens. Definitely try to get as high there as possible after you tournament winner.
Like there's the short hop back air.
Like this, great. Especially like imagine if you hit something like this where I think that's like a general issue that I've noticed that comes up in your play quite a bit, and I think I might have mentioned it before, but it comes up because you're not confident with the wave dash movement. Okay. And so what it creates is like almost all the time when you are grounded, your jump position will be the position where you are grounded from. And that creates like just like an overall, like across your whole gameplay, like a predictability that doesn't need to be there.
Okay.
Where like, so watch like the situation. So like this was good, but you like I said, usually you do the movement a little bit better when you're corner pressuring. Like you'll wave dash back and crouch and stuff when you're corner pressuring. But like right here, jump and hit. You do the wave dash back, but it's not really significant enough there. There's just like, so like for instance, like right here, after you hit this back air, there's a great opportunity to wave dash in here.
Yeah, I agree.
But like this particular spot is just like a tendency I've noticed from you a bunch, where like jumping again here then puts you in this position where you have a lot less options. There was what you would really ideally love to have here is you do a short hop back air and you immediately put yourself wave dash in, and so that after the wave dash in, you can pressure with a second short hop back air.
Yeah.
That would be super ideal here, but because you get this jump, now you're kind of like, And I think you can avoid this by just empty landing right here. Like, you could just see that he jumped also. Empty land here, and then set up for another short hop back air. But you sort of, like, continue committing into the air, which puts you in a little bit of a negative spot.
A few Hail Marys just for fun, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I think I was just throwing some stuff out.
Okay. Yeah, like I do think that like when you end up here, just leaving is great. Full hop away.
100%. I think I was frustrated or something. It was like, I'm just going to end his stock.
It's fine. But I do think ideally, this is, remember that thing? You're letting yourself fall too far. This is okay, so this is actually a spot where they didn't punish it, but this is something pretty significant, is especially against the really good Marths, is like the moment where you think you get down for free, but you don't really. Like, I think right here is like a great moment where like if you were already on the side plat, Marth can't really move in here, but because you are still falling from this far above the side plat,
yeah,
Marth feels comfortable to move in. It's like a, what's it called? Like, you have like a fake opportunity to get down, but it's a tempting opportunity to get down. And so the Marth will oftentimes take this, and this is why I have like the 30-second rule, because this is a spot where you're like, oh, I finally made it down. Like, oh, let's go. Like, I'm up here. I made it down. You do not need to re-enter the battle right here. You can just go to the top plat again, and then work your way down in an extra slow manner. Like, be extra careful with it. And it's just like, it's just a really tempting spot to watch out for. Like, the moment you have this vacuum to move into, be like, yes, okay, we're back in the battle. It's like, no, you should feel very comfortable in the process of getting back to the battle, not being, like, instantaneous. Definitely think the wave dashes will help a lot.
Yeah.
Just like, because there's definitely spots in here where I think that you have these dash dances. So like right here, you get this back air, you're here. You're basically in a spot where Marth is already shielding for the pressure back air that you could have gotten.
Yeah.
So this is like a really good like these types of positions are like a really good
for the wave dash in grab type
yeah,
of thing.
you have a wave dash in grab / short hop back air like pressure here that is somewhat being ignored because you do this first jump like away and then you kind of try to drift back in. Whereas like the low to the ground, like kind of like wave dash / short hop back air there gives you like a bunch of pressure. Yeah, and I think, like, if you don't have an opportunity to go high, like, you kind of ended up here, and you just sort of slowly work your way back, I think it's fine. I think, like, you're expecting Marth to be here a little bit too much.
I panic opted.
Yeah. But, like, just working your way back to stage if they're going to give you the space is good. Once you have them in the corner, I feel like you play it pretty well. Like, you do the short hop aerials, and you stay low to the ground and stuff out of the corner pretty often. Can you not rest that? I thought you could rest
I could have rested that, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's just hard to adjust mentally because you go from this spot where you have a big advantage and you're kind of sharking Marth to being out of the way. And I think it's not very fun to recognize that you need to use all of your resources and like do a bunch of pounds and like move around for a while, before this ever becomes relevant because you just had an advantage. But the pace changes like almost immediately. That like, okay, Marth is now chasing me. I do not want to get within the range where Marth can up tilt or F smash me, and so I need to just really move around versus going into the corner there. Yeah, for some reason when they're right in the corner, you just line up and you're like, oh yes, of course, like the low to the ground mixes like. Even like right here, I think this is another small one, but I think like you can wave dash in here, wave dash in shield, wave dash in like underneath Marth, and those are. It's not that like, oh, that's just the right answer there every time. I think the short hop aerial is fine, but that. The mix up is like missing basically. Yeah, and I think this was going fine. I think you could be facing backwards here to threaten the back air.
You cut out?
I think you should be facing backwards here to threaten the back air if you can, rather than the forward air.
I agree.
Okay, not bad. Oh.
And then that's just the missed edge guard.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so right here, this is another good example of it doesn't feel that great because you don't have that many jumps. Right here, start pounding.
Just pound.
Get as high up as you can because your jumps... The only resource Puff has is the jumps. And the only thing you need the jumps for is to move vertically. You don't even need them to stall. And so, like, if you can use as much of your vertical height, pound back to the stage, you have a good amount of resources left to make stuff happen.
Yeah.
Whereas all of this is wasted because you fall. Everything from here all the way down is wasted because then you do your pound and you're like, ooh, I'm kind of low. And so you try to gain the height with these jumps, but you just run out. Whereas if you started off high up, it's a lot easier to get down. The extra jump to delay or move to a platform or whatever is way more effective than needing to use that jump to get height,
Gotcha.
We are about at an hour. Do you have any thoughts or questions on stuff we went over?
I don't think so. I think I would need to just practice a little bit more and then get if I had questions after that, I think they'd be more useful. Otherwise, it's
okay.
Like,
as long as it all makes sense, then like feel free to come back later. We can talk at like Verdugo or whatever if stuff comes up. And I'd say make sure you get Uncle Punch, practice the wave dashes, practice the short hop aerials, think about that high positioning stuff and the corner positioning stuff. And I think that's a pretty good summary, even though there's a bunch of small things we went over. You might want to like rewatch the lesson later.
Yeah, is it on? Are you streaming on Twitch or just Discord?
I'm streaming on Twitch, and I can send you the VOD.
I can find it. It's all good.
Okay, but I will also be uploading it to YouTube fairly soon, within the next like week or so.
Awesome.
All right, sounds good, man. It was great talking. Are you gonna be at Lombardi?
When is that?
Saturday. Big SoCal tournament.
As in tomorrow?
Yes.
I have nothing in the schedule. If I can register, I might have to show up.
Registration is closed, but
no,
you might be able to like message them and like beg or something. That's kind of what I did.
Yeah, I don't think I have the fiction privilege on that one.
Yeah, but you gotta at least try.
All
That's
right.
right. It'd be good. It'd be cool to see you there.
It would. Otherwise, I'll see you at Verdugo.
And I think Georgie is running. It's like Georgie and Jerry.
All right. I'll see if I can finagle my way in.
Okay, and either way, I'll see you at Verdugo, and it was good talking, man.
You too.
I can
I'll
like
message
send you the
Discord
payment
to further.
info.
Yeah.
All right, great. Sounds good. Peace.
Thanks, man. See ya.